Hello class. In this video I'm going to show you how to take sort of a few outputs from Enscape and SketchUp. I talked about making stylized drawings, why you want your materials with no shadows, why you might want lines turned on, and why you might just want shadows separately with no material, so you can control all of those in Photoshop. And there's tons of different ways. I'll have some videos on things, manipulations you might do. I just want to show you how you sort of compose them all together at a basic level. And so I might start with my material layers as my base, because that's usually what I have. So I'll unlock that layer there, and then I'll just build up. I'll go to my shadows. I'm just going to do Control A to select all, Control C to copy, come over to materials and Control V to paste. Since these were output the same way, they perfectly match. Now, of course, this shadow layer covers up my materials, but we're going to use a great blending mode, which I love. I talk about all the time. That's multiply. When I turn on multiply, essentially the white fades away and the shadows then just remain on here. Now, the great thing here is now I can control it. So I can certainly, if I want lighter shadows, I can just change the transparency. That's one easy way of doing those things. Or another thing I can do is I can change adjustments. So I can go to levels and actually change how bright the drawing is here. So this is going to make everything brighter without changing the darks. I could change the other way around by pulling this, so I can have complete control of how I want the shadows to read. So I'll just set that for now. You spend time doing it the same how you want. And the same thing is for lines. So I'm going to go to my lines, do Control A, Control C, come to this file and paste it in, Control V, and then change the blending mode to multiply. So the lines come on top. And again, that just sort of made it all darker. You can already see this drawing is becoming somewhat stylized. I could have more control over it, but if I want to go to adjustments, I go to the levels, probably going to turn up the brightness on that just so I get the enhancement of the lines a little bit stronger. If that's the look that you wanted to do, you go ahead and do that. So those are quick ways of adjusting all those layers. I do want to show one more thing in here. You might want to change the color of the lines and or the shadows. You do that the same way. So I'm going to do that with lines first. And I do that with image, adjust, hue, saturation. So you can change any color here. Now, because the lines are black, we have to actually hit the colorize button first. Once I hit the colorize button, it's going to sort of allow me to apply some color. So I'm going to turn the saturation. For demonstration purposes, I'm just going to turn it way up so you can start to see that it's adding like these red. You can see the lines are a bit red here. And so then once they're red, you can literally change it to any color you want. Now they're blue and so on and so forth. So sometimes you want to change the color of the lines. Usually black or maybe even a dark brown is fine, but usually black. But if you wanted to, here's red lines. I'll just keep them as red for now, just to sort of be silly about it. Thing you might more likely do is actually change the color of the shadow slightly. And to do that, you're going to do the same way. I'm going to go to image, I'm going to go to adjustments, I'm going to go to hue saturation. Because it's a black and white drawing already, I first need to hit colorize. And I'd want to, again, to accentuate it for now, I'm going to turn up the saturation. Now, red is not usually the color you use for shadows. Usually what you do is you use blues or purples, and that's because your eye sort of translates the absence of the warm yellow sun is a bluish purple. It's the opposite color of that. So you can see I've applied the blue tint to this drawing and the shadows. It's quite intense right now. The reality is I would turn the saturation on that way down. Just give it the ever so slightest hue can really enhance the drawing in that sense. So you might choose to do that. You might choose to choose a different color. I just wanted to show you sort of how you do that. Now, the reality is you're going to do a lot more things, which I'll show other videos in Photoshop and how to make a stylized drawing. Certainly what you're going to have to do is all this ground plane and all the sky and arguably trees, maybe the people, all of those things that might have come from SketchUp. You might actually want to do all that work in Photoshop, and we've shown how to do this. You want to put it into a real photograph, for example. That's all stuff that you're going to have to do in Photoshop. That's all stuff I've reviewed in other videos. So go ahead and do it. It's practice and try to make a great drawing. All right, good luck and have fun.